Good late morning to all of you who are joining me in today's live stream, this particular episode of Real Living in Chicagoland. And from our episode just last month, my co-host Stewart was taking some necessary time, well-deserved time off from work. And just before we came together to prep for this live stream, he was telling me that, he's a very avid cruise vacationer. So as he's getting ready to join us today, let's get his fan club to give him a big round of applause to welcome him into the conversation. And I see Stewart's laughing. Yes, that's your fan club, buddy. How you like that one, Stewart?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we missed you. I missed you from last month's episode. And as I mentioned, we all need to get out of our usual grind, grit. That's the business stuff. And just do something different. So I was so glad to hear that you were taking a cruise vacation. And OMG, I learned something new about you. You love cruise vacations. You're like a diamond member, right?
Almost a diamond. Almost. Yeah. That's the highest level you can reach with Carnival Cruise Line.
Yeah. That's impressive. I'm probably way behind you as to the number of cruise vacations, but I do enjoy them myself. So, Stewart, warming you up as part of getting into our rhythm of hosting our series of Real Living in Chicagoland. As I'm talking to you, one of the things that's certainly obvious is, for people who may be running into a problem finding an existing home to buy, you've got this beauty that I'm showcasing here that you are ready to sell. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, it's new construction in Downers Grove, and right now there's just not enough inventory. So a lot of people are turning towards new construction to solidify where they're going to live.
Right. And so as I look at that property, it's a beaut, Downers Grove, certainly, one of the west suburban commuter suburbs. And for those of you who are watching, if you are in Downers Grove, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Feel free to chime in as to what you love about Downers Grove. And if you might not be in Downers Grove yet, but you're certainly thinking about moving there, and maybe you live in the city, well, hey, that Metro commuter train is quite useful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And not to mention, it's quite useful because for myself, if sometimes I don't have to drive into the city, deal with finding parking, and also business-wise, Stewart, you and I probably do this, right? Whatever time we have free, we're multitasking. We're making phone calls, doing email communication. So when you're traveling on the Metro commuter train, you can multitask. Not to mention, you can have a little snack, your meal, or whatever the case is.
Correct. Yeah.
So as part of our conversation today, let's start off with kind of talking about the elephant in the room, Stewart, and that is, this confusing NAR, National Association of Realtors, lawsuit, potential settlement, blah, blah, blah. Now that I've got that elephant in the room kind of, that we're staring at, how are you changing how you're going to run your business, if anything?
Well, I'm not really going to change my business per se. One of the things that naturally I'm going to pursue more heavily are sellers. I was at about 50-50 sellers, 50% sellers and 50% buyers.
Right.
but because all this nonsense with the commission on the buyer's end and also the lack of inventory, focusing in on sellers is pretty much a guarantee on how to keep your business thriving and running if you're a realtor.
Right, right. So no surprise. That's why, given your relationships with custom home builders, that certainly allows you to sustain that activity, if not kind of pivot and grow that activity in the right way, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so to that point, with a seller like a custom home builder, if I'm that person, are you continuing to have the same conversation with me, which is, Bill, custom home builder, here's how I want to help you sell your new construction homes, and this is how we need to set up our agreement to make sure that we attract as many buyers and find a way to compensate my peer on the buy side, correct?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the same with every seller. It really is just about making sure that things are spoken about clearly. I think this whole lawsuit thing came across or is coming across because things weren't discussed clearly or weren't understood clearly.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, as long as everybody's on the same page and everybody knows what things are at or what's happening, there shouldn't be any problems. It may weed out some of the weak agents that don't know how or can't negotiate their commission.
Yeah.
It may weed them out. It may bring some problems for strong agents from the standpoint of just from the negative publicity, in my opinion, about negotiating commission. That's going to be a little bit of a problem for buyer's agents, because no buyer's agent wants to sit and have half their pay taken away from them, right? So it's going to be a little bit of a problem, but eventually it's going to end up washing itself out in the rain.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think at the end of the day, it's really about doing business the way you are doing it successfully, but having that clear communication, setting expectations, reinforcing it during the entire relationship process. For those of you who may be watching this live stream or as a recording, if you happen to be a buyer, a potential buyer, probably in the next 3 to 6 months, and you may also be scratching your head, a little confused, a little worried about, oh my gosh, I love my real estate buyer's broker, but I'm concerned about how I'm going to compensate him or her for their services rendered. Follow me on social media. I've got some great solutions to share with you, to talk to you about, as well as your buyer's broker. So stay tuned for that when the time is right for you to engage me to explore how to help you. So with all of that said today, let me bring in another relationship, Stewart, that is equally important in what you and I do. Not always be selling a brand new construction home, right? Because a brand new construction home, new paint smell, no one's lived in it, not a lot of stuff you got to declutter and organize. But this relationship, she runs a business where she does exactly that kind of stuff for those existing resale property owners. So as I'm seeing her getting ready to join us, let's give her a little warm welcome with this little tease here. Here we go. It's so important to declutter. It's so important. So let's add Anne-Marie into the conversation here. Anne-Marie, how are you?
I am well, and I love your little intros now. They're very cute with your little videos. Very fancy.
I know. I'm getting way too brave, confident with my digital skills.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So you heard that you heard earlier that Stewart is an avid cruise vacationer. What about you? You enjoy them as well?
I love cruises,
Yeah.
although I went in 6 of them in the last, well, let's see. My 12-year-old's never been on a cruise
Oh,
because he's the 4th child. And when you have that many kids, you have to get 2 suites. It's extremely expensive. So when I had 2 children, they had been on several cruises.
yeah.
So yes, I love them. Great food, great atmosphere, something to do all the time, and you don't have to think about it. That's my kind of vacation.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you could literally eat yourself 24/7, right, Stewart? Right, Anne-Marie?
Yes.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
it's really good.
It is, yeah, it is really good. So, as we're talking about doing cruise vacations, I'm going to do my wacko, let's connect these 2 dots together, connecting your cruising on a vacation with your organizing business, right? So here goes.
Okay.
My wacky, crazy idea. We all know when you're cruising on when you're doing a cruise vacation, you gotta be really smart in how you organize and pack that limited overnight bag and maybe one more suitcase, right? That's it.
Oh, I pack less than that, but yes.
Oh, wow, I'm impressed.
We have a carry-on only, and usually my husband and I share it.
Okay, wow, I'm impressed. I mean, I gotta have you
I'm
chat with
impressed.
I gotta have you chat with my
Capsule
wife.
wardrobes.
Yeah. So back to your business of helping clients organize, declutter for their next life event. Usually it's that of, in this episode of Real Living in Chicago, it's that of helping them get to that next chapter. Anne-Marie, you heard me talk about earlier this confusing NAR lawsuit, right? And Stewart leaned in with, hey, Bill, I'm not going to really change too much of how I run my business, but these things are important, which is clear communication, proper expectation setting. How do you do that with your organizing business, helping your clients?
So, right, the first phone call, like, what do you want? What do you need? What are you looking for? Because I'm going
Right,
to deliver it. I just have to know exactly what that is.
right.
Usually, what I do to make everything simple for everyone, no one has to take off extra time or calendar something out of their evening, is I have them send me pictures or video.
Oh,
What rooms need to be tackled? What does everything look like? And then we set a date and we do it. I have my team of 3 or 4 of us come in and we literally bulldoze it. Whether we need a bulldozer or not depends. My client, right before spring break, he was so confident that his house was amazing and there was barely anything to do. We just smiled and said, okay. And he goes, just tell me what to do. And I said, absolutely. And he had a whole garage full of furniture by the time we were done because his house was very cluttered. Like you couldn't see it because there
yeah,
were so many chairs and extra sofas and so many tables. Extra stuff everywhere. Was it cute and homey for them? Yes. Was it great for a buyer? Could they see it from a buyer's standpoint? Absolutely not. They had no idea what they're looking at.
right.
I always tell my clients to go ahead and look online at what houses look like really nice showing houses. What does it
Yeah,
look like? It looks like a hotel plus a little bit more. That's it. Nobody wants to see your pictures. Nobody wants to see every instrument you've ever played. They don't want to see crap everywhere.
yeah,
You need it to look great and like you can handle your house, because if you can handle what your house looks like inside, I assume your mechanicals are perfect. I assume your roof is not leaking. You manicure everything. Your lawn is really well treated. It should be good to go. But if I walk in a house and it is just hell on wheels, there's stuff absolutely everywhere, because I've been in those houses where you're going to look at a house and they have underwear laying on the floor. I mean, seriously? If you can't even pick up your underwear, you are not taking care of squat, in my opinion. You might, but I doubt it.
yeah, yeah. Stewart, I'm assuming none of your clients have ever left underwear laying around, right?
Uh, Before I got there or after?
See, they're out there. They're out there, and even
They're
Stewart
out there.
is
Yeah,
like,
I have gone in people's houses and they've told me I didn't get a chance to clean. And I
Yeah.
looked at it like, you haven't cleaned in a year.
yeah, didn't get a chance in the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I've heard it all.
And I asked that provocative question of Stewart because I know Stewart well enough, I think. Yes, it probably has happened to him with some of his clients, but because I know he is maniacally a full service broker, he will literally say, all right, deal with that client or I'm dealing with it, right?
Absolutely. Yes. I have done laundry. I have put away dishes. I have moved furniture, you name it, hid stuff. I've done it all.
Yeah, yeah. So to that point, Anne-Marie, your business, I think for a lot of the clients who struggle to organize themselves, to declutter their personal space, your service is priceless. Let me share with you my personal story. Many years back, when my wife and I got married, we decided to buy our first home together, right? It was our first time buying together. I had bought and sold individually prior to that. And there was this one home we went to look at where as soon as we walked in, we could tell it was a home with many young kids. If I were to remember, probably at least 3. What was so amazing to us was how well that home was organized. All of the toys were like put away in bins, and it literally looked like the kind of home I know Stewart is in the background telling his young family with kids, like, got to pick up all this stuff, people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So spot on there, spot on there. And Anne-Marie, with your organizing business, if I think I remember correctly, you can certainly bring in your crew to bulldoze everything. I'm using what you described,
Yes.
but you also offer your service for some clients that feel maybe they can kind of DIY it, but lean on you as a coach, right?
Absolutely. We can do both. You know, whatever my client needs, wants, we're there. And we also design. So I have a stager who's absolutely phenomenal and we work really well together. And at that point, she actually directs me, okay, move this, grab that, put that in a box. And we work so fast, it's ridiculous. Like our clients are amazed. They're like, I couldn't have done that in an entire weekend. I'm like, I know. And then I also have a cleaning crew. You know, if you are ready to do that, great. We can take care of that after I organize and pre-pack you.
There you go. Love it. Love it. And then back to Stewart's world. Stewart, you and I can joke about this, right? Yeah, there's some sellers that think they want a DIY, which is what we call FSBO, for sale by owner. But we always know how that outcome plays out.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So with that, audience members, I'm going to share with you today an additional relationship. This person, unfortunately, as soon as you watch this clip that I'll drop here virtually, you'll understand why he just cannot join Anne-Marie, Stewart, and myself as part of a live stream. So let me kind of set this up, and then you can enjoy why he believes there are certain things you just should not DIY. So here we go. Once you do something the first time DIY, guess what happens? You come to the reality, if you're smart, and realize that was a waste of my time. I need to hire someone.
Yeah, and you know, you touch upon something that I think every homeowner that wants to do something themselves, you know, comes up against is after they're done with the project, what they've attempted to do. They look at, ask themselves a legitimate question and be honest with yourself.
So yeah, that little clip of a recording was what I shot with my relationship. A guy named Peter Franz. He owns a multi-generational painting business. And when I leaned in to have that conversation with him, I was really sharing my own personal story. Have I DIY painted some rooms? The answer is yes. And just like Peter leaned in and said afterwards, well, be honest with yourself, Bill. Did you really enjoy it? Did you like the outcome? Here's what I can tell you, everyone. I don't always enjoy it. Second, sometimes my outcome is not exactly what I want.
Right.
Right. And Stewart, you and I probably will lean in and say this, which is at the end of the day, our time is probably better spent doing the other stuff that either we enjoy or make us more money.
Mhm.
Right.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
spot on. So for all of you watching today's episode, if you happen to kind of believe in the rhythm of this episode is, which is there's certain things, yes, you can DIY some stuff. But when it comes down to the real stuff that's important, don't DIY it. Don't FISBO. Come on. We know what that outcome looks like. And if you're going to look yourself in the mirror and say, oh, yeah, I'll get myself organized. I'll declutter everything. Come on. Be real. Be honest. Anne-Marie is there. She could coach you, but she's going to also realize after a couple of coaching sessions, she just might have to unleash her crew to come in and bulldoze everything.
Right. Well, the biggest thing that people don't realize, like for Anne-Marie, is they think declutter and they get rid of everything way
True.
too much.
Way too.
Or they think declutter and they get rid of practically nothing because everything is needed, everything is wanted, right? So it takes someone like Anne-Marie to come in and say, okay, do you use this all the time? Do you not? Can you go get it when you need it? Do you absolutely have to have it right in this spot 24 hours a day? And usually the answer is no. So
exactly. You get me, Stewart.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today's episode of Real Living in Chicagoland, for those of you who are thinking about, maybe already planning, because you are thinking, oh my gosh, this person, Marie Guenther, by the way, her business is called Very Unique. I love it. That girl organizes. And if you're going to reach out to her to organize and declutter, and maybe, just maybe, you're thinking about selling the home to get to your next chapter, and you don't have the right broker to help you accomplish that goal, real simple today as we wrap up. Scan the QR code for Stewart Ramirez. He is certainly able, ready, and willing always to start that conversation with you. And as part of your next chapter, unless you're going to pay cash, if you do need to finance that next real estate purchase, scan the QR code next to my name, next to my picture. I'm certainly able, ready, and willing to participate in how I can help you get to your next chapter. So everyone, as we wrap up today, enjoy. Unfortunately, today's not so great weather, but you know, spring showers brings May flowers, right?
And snow tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, snow tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I know. All right, that's it for now, everyone. See all of you in the next episode.
Sounds good. Take care.
Bye.